Ross, we're having dramas, not just you start with skilled, but you use skilled as an example. With the collapse of the 481 visas and the different bits and pieces, we've lost 26 chefs back to their homeland, and we're just really struggling to find replacements, Australian born and trained, to take those places. Managers, maitre d', sommeliers, things that international visa holders have come in and take the place of a lack of skills in those areas in hospitality are really proving troublesome for us to find people to fill those gaps, and it's really creating some headaches.
Okay, so those people, when they previously came here, would they be people who would come on these visas for a certain period of time and then go home, or would they generally be people who would try and settle here in Australia?
Genuinely try and settle, but we've seen a real disruption of that with the fact that their family, how it's historically played out is that the people would come here, set up a life, send money back to the homeland for their family and look after them over there, and forge a new life with their next generation to come after them, become a pathway to Australian residence. But what we're seeing with they're more worrying about their families back wherever the country of origin is, it's all being pull the shutters and get out of here and get back and make sure the family are all okay. All
right, so if you've got a lack of those skilled people, what about the unskilled, just bar staff, people cleaning up and all that type of thing?
Same again. It really is a case of, at the moment, we're perennially running ads in all the different online forums, trying to find people, wait staff, floor staff, bar staff, in accommodation, housekeeping staff. It's really a tough grind at the moment, and we're battling.
All right, so you're battling to find the staff, and yet, we know that Australia's got unemployment still at 5.6%. There should technically be staff out there. Why are there not the staff in Australia turning up, knocking on your pub's doors, saying, we want a job? My
only reason behind it could be that if that is the case, and the stats don't lie, there are people not looking for work. My great message today, Ross, to anyone out there watching this at the moment, if you've got your responsible service of alcohol and gaming, go to your nearest Laundy hotel. I don't care if you're skilled or unskilled. Unskilled, we're prepared to train you on the job to get it done, because we are really battling, and it's not peculiar to us. I'm talking to many operators on a daily basis saying, how are you going? And it's the constant theme, no matter who I talk to, that our industry is all in the same boat. Because even in the last week, you've seen Parenti, which is mining services, profit downgrade because of a lack of skilled workers. You've had Jerry Ryan, Jayco Caravan, same sort of thing, saying his supply line has been disrupted because there's a lack of workers around the place. It seems really odd, isn't it, that we've come through a period of very, strong employment growth, but we're still not back to where the Reserve Bank wants it, and yet you're still finding it hard to find workers. Absolutely, and again, it leads me to the belief that those that are sitting unemployed at the moment either don't want to do the work that we are offering as available, or are waiting for something better in the hope that it comes along, or let's hate to think they don't want to work at all, but that may be a reality as well. Okay, so let's go back to your chef. Your chef is here, and therefore there's a shortage of chefs. Therefore there's a market. You're not the only one suffering that shortage of chefs. So what's happening to wages? Wage inflation is occurring. I had a chef recently that I lost in a venue on the Central Coast. I know what I'm paying up there because we've got a half a dozen different venues. I had to pay 15% more than I would have paid to historically fill that job, to get the right person to do that. Where these skill shortages are happening, the people that are in these industries at the moment, I would believe, from my own personal experience, we are seeing big wage inflation occurring. And okay, so if that's out this week to back that up. So if there's wage inflation occurring, how do you as a business manage that? Do you absorb that? In other words, it's out of your pocket, or do you try and pass it on to the consumer? Is there price inflation coming? A little bit of both. So, you know, we try and keep our operations as lean as is physically possible so that we can ensure that we give the customer a great experience as cost effectively as possible. But also, when you've got expenses increasing, let's face it, we need to make sure that we're covering those at the same time. So it's a little bit of both. We wear some and we try and pass some on. So yes, there, you know, I can see in the not too distant future, I know historically for the last 4 or 5 years, we've had, you know, real wage declines and CPI levels, you know, negligible. But I can see that turning around in the next couple of years.
Okay, so you're a former federal small business minister, and you know that this is happening not just in this business, but in businesses the length and breadth of the country. Is there anything now the government should or could do to help alleviate the problem?
Look, I think what this has displayed is that they need to be thinking longer term strategically about skills training. You know, in a lot of ways, there's been repositioning. You know, the TAFE network is not what it used to be. There's the federal-state government overlap that's always an issue when it comes to governing in this country. Who's responsible for what? I would envisage that, you know, if they're thinking longer term, which I think we need them to do, I think they need to think about how we handle skills shortages that are current and emerging longer term for the sake of the economy growing.
So is the real answer to this to get the international borders opened as quickly as we possibly can? Is that the real answer to it, though?
As whilst keeping people as safe as physically possible, and I hate to sound like a member of the government, but I formerly was one. But yes, also I think this is a unique opportunity, and the government have at the moment. We've proven ourselves internationally to be a very, very safe place to be in an uncertain global time. I don't want to tell the government how to do their job, but if I was them at the moment, this is an opportunity, I think, a crossroads in Australia's now and into the future of how we can attract the best skilled people from around the world. I'd be looking to expand our skilled visas, not only in those places that we're short of skilled labour, but also, you know, the tech industries. You've seen what's happening overseas right now in the US in the tech-based industries. They're going through the roof. How do we use this disruption, which COVID clearly is, and I think it's here for another couple of years, as an opportunity to open the doors to the smartest and best, you know, whether it's the high net worth visas again. People that are going to come here, invest money offshore, bring it to Australia, a safe haven, open businesses, employ people, train people. You know, I really do think there are some opportunities off the back of this as well.
Good stuff. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Well done.